The time is 9 o'clock. You're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
Hello, I'm Clinton Davis with your local CHMA News. Well, assessment notices went out in January. Tax bills arrived later in March. And in between, an article appeared on CBC a couple of weeks ago end of January highlighting a possible misconception around new homeowners being exempt from this year's property assessment freeze, meaning both their assessments will likely increase along with potential tax rate hikes. For everyone else, residents in Tantramar may be wondering what those potential tax rate changes and assessment freezes mean for them. That confusion has also been playing out online, including on Reddit, where some homeowners have been debating who qualifies for the freeze and who doesn't. Michael Beale is Tantramar's Director of Financial Services. I spoke with Beale in recent months to discuss local tax rate hikes in some areas and not others, and why. He says the goal of the 2026 budget was to keep services stable.
We are still planning for today and for the future. We have budgeted the necessary amounts within the fire department, the necessary amounts within the police department, the necessary amounts within active living and culture, recreation, within all departments in order to continue to provide the same services that we had in the future.
At the same time, the province brought in a one-year assessment freeze. Beale says that matters when it comes to what people will actually pay.
The province did do an assessment freeze. The taxes are going up for some areas.
For many Sackville and Dorchester residents, those who've been homeowners for more than a year, that freeze should mean no change to their final bill.
So that means that if for Sackville and Dorchester residents, your tax bill will be the same in 2026 as it was in 2025. Because the tax rate stayed the same and there's an assessment freeze. If your house was worth $300,000 in 2025, it will be $300,000 in 2026. Therefore, your tax bill will be the same.
But in some areas, rates are still rising.
For those in the local service districts with the assessment freeze, that means that your taxes will go up by the increase in tax rate. It will still be assessed at $300,000 in 2026, and you will pay additional taxes based on the increase in tax rate, the 5 cents per $100. So that is the only change that happened between 2025 and 2026.
While it's still an increase, Beale explained what 5 cents actually means in real dollars on your tax bill.
Overall, the budget does see tax increases in the local service districts of 5 cents for Sackville and Dorchester LSD, a little over 4 cents for the Point Butte local service districts, and Sackville and Dorchester tax rates remain the same in 2026 as 2025. The increases for the local service districts tax rates fall in line with the same process that whereby the local service districts continue to pay more towards their share of services from the municipality. There is an entire formula, and the province had instituted a 5 cent cap on any increase in local service districts until they have become fully funded relating to the shared services that they do receive.
What does 5 cents mean?
5 cents per $100 of assessed value. So if you have a $100,000 home, that would result in a $50 increase in property taxes. If you had a $200,000 home, it would be a $100,000 or $100 increase in property taxes.
Beale says rising costs made the budget very hard to balance.
That did cause some struggles as we prepared the budget because, as noted, things are increasing. Everything in the fire service has doubled in the last 3 to 5 years. Everything is increasing significantly that the municipality has to provide, but we attempt through the budget process to have as minimal effect as possible on the residents. Unfortunately, there is an effect when this happens, but we try to keep that effect as minimal as possible.
So for those in the rural area of Tantramar, be prepared for a tax bill that may be higher than you expected. Those bills are expected to arrive in March. If residents disagree with their assessment, you have to take care of that right now before the bills come in. They have until February 18th to request a review. Are you going to request a review? Do you mean to every year and never get around to it? Let me know at news@chmafm.com. And that's it for today. Happy Monday. I'm Clinton Davis for CHMA News here in Tantramar.
And here is your CHMA Atlantic update for Monday, February the 9th. Rob Lance will be the next Premier of Prince Edward Island after winning the leadership of the Progressive Conservatives at a leadership convention yesterday. Lance took 53% of the vote, while challenger Mark Ledwell won 46%. Lance previously held the title of interim Premier after Dennis King resigned last year. Lance is expected to be sworn in this coming week. Police in New Brunswick's capital city are asking for the public's help investigating a copper wire theft. Fredericton police say there are at least 2 suspects involved in the January 17th incident near 400 Cliff Street. The K9 unit traced the suspect's path to a dirt road in the area, leading police to believe the suspects may have been riding an ATV. And an overseas flight from Toronto to London was diverted to St. John's, Newfoundland on Saturday morning due to an unruly passenger. Air Canada told CBC News that there were 368 passengers on board flight AC-858 when it left Toronto late Friday. The airline says authorities met the plane when it landed in Newfoundland. The remaining passengers were sent back to Toronto and rebooked on future flights. And sales of non-alcoholic beverages in New Brunswick, sales of non-alcoholic beverages at NB Liquor have almost doubled over the last year. The provincial agency says it sold $1.43 million worth of 0% products, up from about $750,000 at this point last fiscal year. The agency says the stats aren't complete, as other retailers are also carrying non-alcoholic products. Statistics Canada says alcohol sales were down about 3.8% nationally over 2023-24, the biggest drop since they began tracking sales in 1949. And a 41-year-old Halifax man was arrested on Thursday after police say he registered high blood alcohol readings on a breathalyzer. RCMP say they were called about a suspicious vehicle parked on a residential street near Cole Harbour, east of Dartmouth, where officers found a man inside a Kia Rio sedan. Mounties allege the man showed signs of impairment and twice failed a roadside breath test. The man was arrested for impaired driving and is scheduled to appear in Dartmouth Provincial Court at a later date. And finally, a pair of Newfoundland and Labrador filmmakers will be shooting a heritage minute to mark Gander's contributions to 9/11. Thousands of passengers ended up stranded in the central Newfoundland town when flights were forced to land suddenly. Brothers Peter and Rob Blackie have put out a call for as many as 1,000 background actors to play locals as well as international passengers and a crew of the flights. Filming is set to take place late March at Gander International Airport. The 20th anniversary of 9/11 will be marked this year. And that is your CHMA Atlantic update for Monday, February 9th.
Hey, this is Harper Young from Radio Laurier, and you're listening to CHMA.
And now the weather. Today, a mix of sun and cloud, becoming cloudy this afternoon. Wind northwest 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40. High -6. Wind chill -18 earlier this morning, -13 this afternoon. UV index 1 or low. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Wind northwest 20 kilometers an hour, high -8. Wind chill near -15. Tomorrow, Tuesday, February the 10th, clearing late in the morning. Wind up to 15 kilometers an hour, high -3. Wind chill -14 in the morning, -7 in the afternoon. UV index 1 or low. Tuesday night, cloudy periods, low -11. Wednesday, February the 11th, cloudy, 60% chance of flurries, high -2. Wednesday night, cloudy, 60% chance of flurries, low -6.
And here is your CHMA weather update for this Monday the 9th. A mix of sun and cloud today, becoming cloudy later in the afternoon. The wind is northwest 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40 at times. A high of -6, wind chill near -17. For tonight, mainly cloudy with the wind northwest 20 kilometers an hour, becoming light overnight with a low of -9, wind chill -15. For Tuesday, the 10th, a mix of sun and cloud, high of -3. Cloudy periods with a low of -11 on Tuesday night. Starting up on Wednesday, the 11th, there's a long series of cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries reading. The temperature high on Wednesday is -2. It's cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries and a low of -6 on Wednesday night. And that same forecast for Thursday with a high of -1, 60% chance of flurries again on Thursday night, low of -8. Coming in on Friday, you bet it, 60% chance of flurries, high of -4. Cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries continuing into Friday night with a low of -9, and that will also continue into Saturday, the 14th of February, with a high of -3. There's a CHMA weather.
This is only a test. This is a test of your patience.
Only on CHMA. And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
Super Bowl 60 happened last night in Santa Clara, California, and it was the Seattle Seahawks winning in a dominant style their second franchise Super Bowl with a 29-13 dismantling of the New England Patriots. The game's MVP was Kenneth Walker III. In NBA action, there were just 4 games yesterday. The New York Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics 111-89. It was the Miami Heat by 31 over the Washington Wizards 132-101. Toronto Raptors, they win again. They defeat the visiting Indiana Pacers 122-104 in downtown Toronto. And finally, it was a dominant performance by the Los Angeles Clippers over the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota 115-96. Over the weekend, Valerie Maltese gets Canada's first bronze medal in women's 3,000 meter speed skating. That is the first medal for Canada in the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. Closer to home in men's university basketball, the Mounties went to Moncton to face off against Crandall, and on both Saturday and Sunday were on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Crandall defeating the men's Mounties 83-66 on Saturday and 88-72 on Sunday. In the women's matchups against the same school, it was a different story. The women's team defeated Crandall 78-56 on Saturday and 66-54 on Sunday. The Mounties hockey squad, they were hosting both St. Thomas this weekend as well as UMB, and they lost both games. St. Thomas defeated them 4-1 on Friday night, and it was the UMB Varsity Reds winning 3-1 on Saturday night. And finally, some good news for women's hockey. It was the Tantramar Regional High School Lady Titans taking away the banner from the Southern Victoria High School hockey tournament over the weekend.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary.
Hi everyone, my name is Tammy, and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
All right, and with that, let's get into some community updates. It's maybe a bit of a calmer week than it was this past weekend with the Super Bowl and everything going on around with the Winterfest. Hope you enjoyed a lot of, or some of any of the activities that were happening. It seemed quite busy, but it is that time of year. February tends to be quite busy around these parts, and it keeps going. So let's take a quick look. First, we usually check in with the municipality, see what they're saying, and then we'll run over to chmafm.com, the community events, and see what is going on there. Yeah, no big updates because they were putting all their efforts into Winterfest, and but I will mention the ongoing thing is that the volunteer award nominations, they're now open. So if you know somebody around the community, they have a special award for TRHS class of 2026. That's the Titan Community Achievement Award. There's also the Decade of Dedication Award for volunteers with 10 plus years of service. Then they have the Long-Term Service Award for 25 years of service, 25 plus. And then the Golden Long-Term Service Award, 50 plus years of service. And you can go over to tantmarmb.com/volunteer 2026 and make your nominations. You've got quite a bit of time to get them in there up until June the 2nd. But and that is kind of it from the municipality for now. Let's run over and see what the CHMA community calendar is saying. There's a long list of things, so I want to give a big shout out to Ashna and Siley and Twee and everyone that's helping keeping the community events up to date. It's a lot of work. Don McNutt, still on at the Owens. This week is the EOS Eco Energy Care Week from the 7th until the 13th. So you got a lot of things happening. They've already started doing a bunch of things, but tonight is the clothing swap down at Tweedy Hall, downstairs on the first floor of the Wallace McCain Student Center. It's today. Sorry. No, it's 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Sorry. For some reason I was thinking evening, but 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. On Tuesday, tomorrow, they have the solar energy workshop 12 to 2 p.m. and that's with Woody Thompson from Spundy Solar and Zach Wheeler from Wheeler Electric. And on Friday they have the home flood proofing webinar 12 to 1 p.m. So there's some things. So you're looking for more information, you can make your way over to www.eosecoenergy.com, and you can also email them at education@eosecoenergy.com. Let's take another look at the community calendar, see what else is happening. There's an annual March break camp at the Atlantic Wildlife Institute. It's opening for registrations. Sorry, this is for the March break camp. It's not happening this week, but the registration is open. And this is for youth, currently grades 2 to 6. And it's going to be Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at AWI's Learning Center over at 220 Cookville Road. Just outside of Sackville, Cookville. It's about 15 kilometers outside of Sackville. The cost is absolutely free, and that is from the generosity of the JEA Crake Foundation. And if you want to register, info at atlanticwildlife.ca. Space is limited to 20 campers, so you must sign up for the space is limited for 20 campers, and they must sign up for the entire week. That's how it works. So, what else is happening? There's still more coming up this week. We have just to mention that, Tantramar regular council meeting Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Winter Ultimate Frisbee. Registration is now open. Symphonic Band Chamber Concert is happening on Wednesday with Professor James Kalin and the Mount Allison Symphonic Band. This is their annual chamber concert music, and it's going to be at Brunton Auditorium, 8 to 9:30. That's February the 11th. That's Wednesday. The Film Society of the Week this week is Peter Hujar's Day. Of course, that is over in Amherst at the Amherst Movie Theater. Do we have a synopsis? A 1974 conversation between photographer Peter Hujar and Linda Rosenkrantz sheds light on New York's vibrant downtown art world and introspective journey of an artist's life. And that sounds right up my alley, so I'm very excited to check that out. And finally, I'll just let you know about the Tantramar Heritage Trust Sand Dance. And this is Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. They're doing this in partner with the municipality of Tantramar. They're presenting the screening of 1979 film Sand Dance and talk by filmmaker Janet Crawford. And that's in Council Chambers, 2 p.m., February 14th. And in 1979, 3 women artists spent many hours exploring and interpreting the molding shop of the Enterprise Foundry through different art forms. From that experience, Sackville native Janet Crawford created Sand Dance, a 9-minute black and white Super 8mm silent film that explores the atmosphere of the workplace and honors the skillful crafting, hard work, and determination of the men of the molding shop. The presentation will be followed by a reception catered by Amy Trentholm. Admission is free and everyone is welcome. And you can reach out to tramarheritage@gmail.com. So again, that's this Friday, the 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the council chambers at Tantramar Town Hall. There you go. A whole bunch of community events for you. Here's a couple more, and then we'll get into some music.
In conjunction with Marshview Middle School, join for a once-a-week after-school homework help program focused on numeracy and literacy. The program will support students with completing homework, provide extra practice sheets or activities, and create a relaxed, supportive space to learn. The program runs Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. at Bill Johnstone, starting February 5th and running until April 2nd, excluding February 19th and March 5th. Registration is open at www.tantramarnb.com/programs. EOS is partnering with Woody Thompson from Fundy Solar and Zach Wheeler from Wheeler Electric to host a free solar education workshop from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Tantramar Civic Center at 182 Main Street in Sackville. The workshop will include a presentation, time for questions, and an optional visit to a local home with solar panels installed. Carpooling for the visit to the solar panels will be arranged on the day of the visit. This event does not require any registration, so please do join them for the Solar Energy Workshop.
And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Darcy.
Make sure to listen to our show, Finding Film, every Friday night at 7 p.m.
here at CHMA 106.9 FM
in Sackville, New Brunswick.
Okay, so let's get into the music section of the morning show here, taking us to 9:30 to the last bit. And then, of course, that is just opening the doors wide open for a wonderful day of programming here at the Voice of the Marshes. Do we have time? Do we have time to check the schedule? I think we do. So let's do that. Tonight, Monday night hasn't changed this fall. It's pretty amazing. Let's be honest, with Angie and Kiera coming up at 6. That is that is our third movie show each week. But it's their demeanor, their interplay is really fun and enjoyable. So I encourage you to tune up. Then that's Let's Be Honest at 6 p.m. Then, of course, Casadillo del Aben in 100% Spanish with Max and Aoko for 2 hours at 7 p.m. East Track Mine, legendary East Coast music lover Heidi O'Connor, local champion for, won several awards. That's at 10 p.m. But for the day, we have Making Contact at 10 a.m. Eric Gohill is up at 11. Siley Shringapore up at 12. Democracy Now! At 1. Joseph Lunan, the new rising star here at CHMA, who's just getting comfortable and sounding better and better every day. It's on at 3 p.m. Ashna Gangwani at 4 p.m. and Maya Noel live at 5 p.m. There you go. Let's see what music I've got picked out for you. I went through the stacks and I picked out some Weather Station with Airport, Courtney Marie Andrews with Keeper, and we're going to play for the last time, not the last time, but it's coming out of rotation, All Cylinders from Yves Jarvis from last year Polaris Prize. We played it quite a bit, so it's time for Yves to take a nap for a little bit, but we'll probably come back this summer. All right, here we go. First up, the Weather Station, Airport.
If you don't want me, say so now. It's not too late.